Men of Reddit, what are some things you've been dying to tell women? We get hurt in relationships too, but we generally have less of a support system. So if we seem distant at times, it's just a defense mechanism. I can feel and be quite empathetic. I'm just afraid to show it, because when I get hurt I have less people to be there for me. That I'm not a machine. I have feelings. And sometimes I need a 15 minutes break and some orange juice before we go at it again. I hate assembling IKEA furniture with my GF. Best and realest plot twist. Take my upvote. If you're interested in us, please be direct and ask us out instead of dropping a bunch of obvious hints and hope that we get it. Sometimes we do pick up on hints, but are afraid that we are just misinterpreting it as a hint and won't act on it in fear that we'll be labeled a creep. Men are expected to be the one to put themselves in the vulnerable position of directly facing rejection. Look at any thread here about missing hints. Most often a woman's way of making a move is to do so in a way that leaves her an out and leaves plausible deniability in case it doesn't go her way. Most women think that making a move is trying to tell him that it's okay to approach her. That's not making a move. That's playing defensive in order to force the onus on him. If a man gets hurt from rejection, he's told to just shut up, suck it up, this is just the way that it is, and to do out there and get rejected again until he becomes numb to it. If a man gets tired of always being the one in the vulnerable position and wants to stop doing so, then he will live and die alone. Because the vast majority of women will not be unambiguously direct about dating. And often here on Reddit you see women say that they refuse to because they don't want to feel embarrassed or hurt if they get rejected. Well, welcome to being a man. And some women say that men just don't like that because they had someone or saw someone react badly to it. That's bullshit. Every time there are tons of men saying that they wish women would do that. There are many different types of men out there. If every guy that you go for reacts badly to your advances, then you need to reevaluate who you choose to go for. Men are effectively always the one to risk getting hurt, because if they don't, then they will spend their life alone. Tell us just one minor compliment, and it is likely we will remember it for years to come. Seriously, like 6 years ago, I had a girl at work tell me I had a nice body. I still think about that sometimes. Or back in freshman year of high school, my friend told me another girl said I had a nice butt. Life fuel. When I was 17, I'd been exercising like crazy for 4 hours on end every day for 3 years. I was so dumb and young, I thought that all you had to do was be buff and women would flock to you. Me and my mates were all playing football around the garage on a hot summer's day, so without thinking about it, I took my t-shirt off, and one of the guy's girlfriends stared at me mouth agape and kept commenting on how ripped I was. It's like she was mesmerized. That was about 2 decades ago. Still think about it some days. Not exactly disproving your hypothesis there, dude. Yeah lol, I was like, okay, he's gonna tell a story about learning being buff doesn't get you infinite women, then it just does, I guess lol. It'd be nice if you initiated more often. But don't make it jokey cause that's confusing. The only time women ever flirt with me is in an over-the-top, ridiculous way that's impossible to take seriously. It makes me really confused as to whether or not they actually like me. I don't think you want me just because you are nice to me. And I'm not being nice just to get you. I'm being nice because I treat others the way I want to be treated. I just want to ask why 50 other women comment how hot you are on your Insta post, even if the filter is so bad they can't see you. Because sometimes when we post a picture of ourselves, it's because we've been feeling really shitty or unloved and need a bit of a confidence boost. It's like unwritten code. Rally around and compliment just in case it's one of those posts. Is it normal / not weird for a guy to chime in something similar? Depends on your relationship with that person. If you would say that sort of thing in person or have a comfortable platonic friendship, it's fine or even appreciated. Random girl you haven't seen in a couple of years. A bit weird. It's 2018 ladies. If you like a guy, then ask him out. There is no shame in it. It happened like a few weeks ago. I made out with this girl from my class in a party. It was awesome, and I was interested in getting to know her better, you know, have a date. I got her number and started texting her. Days later I asked her out, and she's like, oh, I'm so busy this weekend. I immediately remembered every single time I heard that one before, so I'm like, oh, okay. Let's reschedule. Next day in class she sits far away from me, and I pretty much got the message that she's not interested in anything else with me. So I stopped texting her and trying to talk to her in class at all. Days later her friends go after me with, you have no attitude, why you don't ask her out again, she's so into you, why don't you talk to her? And she keeps asking your friends if you are showing up in the same party she is going to be. So she is still clearly interested in me, but is expecting me to do all the work while playing hard to get. Like, geez, pick one. You can't do both and expect me to don't think that you are not interested. Playing hard to get. It's just hard to want. We need time with the guys. It isn't because we're embarrassed of you or up to shady shit. It's just because we need to spend time with our friends. Never ever say, you are too nice to be my boyfriend. First, I have no idea what that means. Second, it will leave me mentally destroyed after wondering how to get women to like me. Third, it will turn my values upside down and will leave me in a way that tries to be more awful. It means she doesn't want to upset you by telling you the real reason, whatever it may be. We don't all want to bang you. Most of us have types. You're not as hot as you think you are. I would like to compliment you on your appearance because I respect the amount of effort that goes into it, but I won't because it is very rarely taken as the compliment it is intended. Here is a tip for complimenting a woman's appearance. Rather than saying something about her looks, compliment her style choices. So instead of saying you're beautiful, say things like, this dress looks amazing, this color really suits you, or I really like your makeup today. Fake eyelashes. It's your body, but you look like you have giant caterpillars above your eyes. To be fair, you might only notice the bad ones. That's because you only notice the bad ones. We have a soft side too. You probably already know that under this bearded grumpy face is a warm and gooey center. I love metal, concerts, long days and guitar. I also like cheesy slice of life shows, Demi Lovato, spoiling my kitty and my terrible pop playlist. Super uncharacteristic of me at first glance. I matched with a guy on Tinder recently who was into video games, punk metal, tattoos, but also his kitten, buying himself flowers and pretty duvet designs. Honestly, he was so hot, and I think it might be in part because he seemed so comfortable with his masculinity and didn't care that buying flowers or having a flowery duvet set is traditionally more feminine. Edit, I just remembered he is also a tree surgeon and has intensely blue eyes. To one woman, but forgive me because I have to vent. Even if you wanted me back at this point, I'm saying no. I've worked hard my entire life to be a good person. And I deserve to be way more than someone's shameful secret. I don't hate you. I hate myself for believing you. Your makeup, eyeshadow, highlights, and the colors you paint your nails are all beautiful. Women make the world a better place. There's a profound lack of positive male role models in the lives of most young men, as traditional masculinity is becoming increasingly de-emphasized, in tandem with a massive surge in the availability of new and differing types of entertainment and distraction. A void is being created where fathers and sons experience friction in relating to each other. Mix this with an unstable cultural male archetype, and most of us reach our 20s without any idea of who we are, what we should strive for, or how we should orient ourselves in our daily activities. I'm not talking about meaning of life things. I'm talking about basic concepts of right and wrong, good and evil. There are millions of small subtleties in daily life, and a nihilistic approach to life isn't helping anything. So, many default to base instinct, hedonistic pursuits and indulgences that oftentimes lead to the unintentional abuses of those close to us, or plunge us into self-destructive tendencies from which we may never recover. Others will try, and fail, to act in a way that will make them able to relate to women. When this fails, they grow quickly exasperated because they are deprived of the meaningful intimacy that almost all human beings universally require in order to live happy, healthy, successful lives. Some will fall in line with causes and ideologies that are detestable because at the very least they help them make sense of the chaos they are constantly embroiled in. Many of us want to be good people, the best that we can be. We desire affection, intimacy, and the care of another. That said, we have no idea what that looks like. So please, women, if you see a man exhibiting the kind of traits that exemplify what is moral and good, I wish there was a less ambiguous way to phrase that. Let him know. Many of us are haunted by the stupid, reprehensible things we've done. We need to know how to avoid those traps, preferably before we fall into them and hurt ourselves or others. Note, I'm not saying all men are terrible, or that we are beasts that act as such when left to our own devices, but the current state of things cannot continue, and everyone needs to be a part of solution, or we'll all suffer the consequences together. Got any similar examples? Leave it in the comments below.